Something that I've been tagged in a lot, like over the last few days, because it is another one of the many examples of the police overstepping their mark. Obviously, this is rolling off screen because Daily Mail don't know how to format their website. The moment Army veteran is arrested for causing anxiety after retweeting a meme of a swastika made out of pride flags, as force is condemned by its own crime commissioner for the proportionality and necessity of its response. Darren Brady, 51, slammed Hampshire police for impeding his right to free speech. The Army veteran was arrested for posting the meme online at his home in Aldershot. Footage shows officer telling Mr. Brady he was arrested for causing anxiety. Donna Jones, Crime Commissioner for Hampshire, criticised Mr. Brady's arrest. This is the moment an Army veteran was arrested by police for causing anxiety after retweeting a picture of a swastika made out of pride flags on social media. You've seen it, see how there's like the new age fucking like pride flag with the arrows and all that shit in it. It get arranged like in a circle so it looks like a swastika. And the whole point of it was basically saying that the new LGBT activism are the type of people that are going to absolutely destroy you if you criticise it. And that was the point they were trying to make. And what happened? The police went to the guy's door. So the point was proven. I don't know why he's been arrested over a factual tweet. Darren Brady, 51, has slammed Hampshire police for impeding on his right to freedom of speech after he was placed into handcuffs on Friday at his home in Aldershot for sharing a meme. Footage of the arrest was widely shared on social media and showed an officer who told Mr. Brady he was being apprehended because his post had caused anxiety and been reported to the authorities. So obviously someone, I believe I know what type of person, called the police and says, "This tweet made me anxious." And the police went and arrested the guy. Britain. Welcome to Britain. The image Mr. Brady retweeted was of a swastika that had been digitally manipulated and was made out of 4 LGBT pride flags. In the video, shot on a mobile phone, Mr. Brady can be heard asking the 3 police officers, "Why am I in cuffs?" One officer responds, "It didn't have to come to this at all. It didn't have to come to this at all. Why couldn't you have just been a good citizen? Why did you have to have the wrong thoughts, citizen? You said the wrong thing and made someone feel anxious. It's not a crime to make someone feel anxious." Mr. Brady replied, "Tell us why you escalated it to this level, because I don't understand." The officer adds, "Someone has been caused anxiety based on your social media post. That is why you've been arrested. Causing someone anxiety." Right, so it's not just gross offence, it's also anxiety. Do you know what makes me feel anxious? This shit. The police coming to your house and putting you in cuffs and arresting you because you. And the thing that was funny is this guy wasn't even the original poster, I believe. I think he just retweeted it. I think he just retweeted the meme and that's why he got arrested. I'm not sure. I know the original poster got arrested and then someone who retweeted it also got arrested. So let's check. Maybe the article clarifies it a bit more. Aye, but there he is there in cuffs and all that, just honestly. And Lawrence Fox was one of the guys with him, like filming as he was being arrested. Harry Miller, a former police officer, was also... Harry Miller, I've actually spoke to Harry before, was also arrested after claiming he had tried to prevent the former serviceman from being detained. He told Mail Online, "Hampshire police showed a blatant disregard of the law. They approached Mr. Brady and acted as summary judge, jury and executioner, but didn't know what offence he'd actually committed. They said he was being arrested for causing anxiety, which is utterly ridiculous. Mr. Brady is a British Army veteran and they were trying to extort him for money by making him pay around £80 for educational course so he could downgrade from a crime to a non-crime, which would still show up in a basic disclosure and barring service DBS check." That's fucking holy shit. So basically, the state came in and the state did what it always does and wanted money, like first and foremost. But then it was going to make him pay for his own re-education, where, "Oh, it won't be a crime if you pay us money." Like, holy fucking shit, man. That is extortion, but then again, that's the state's bread and butter. It's called tax. And also, if the punishment for a crime is a fine, what they really mean is it's legal for a price. Commenting on the video circulating on Twitter, Mr. Miller wrote, "I'd been locked up by this time and missed this exchange. I'm speechless." Mr. Miller, who in December won a Court of Appeal challenge over police guidance on hate incidents, said police visited the man 10 days earlier and has informed him that he could take the option of attending an £80 education course to avoid being arrested and possibly charged with a criminal offence. The veteran said he needed time to mull it over before the officers agreed to return at a future date. Writing on Twitter on Sunday, Mr. Brady told his followers, "It's nice to be able to enjoy a Sunday morning in peace without being harassed by Hampshire police trying to extort money from me or have me re-educated for sharing a meme on the internet." Like, this is Britain now. This is how fucking bad things are. This whole thing that everybody said wasn't going to happen. This whole thing they said that wasn't going to happen, well, it's happening. It's happening now. There you go. Ah, horrendous. Mr. Brady shared the meme, which was originally posted by Lawrence Fox, a 44-year-old actor turned campaigner, on social media. Mr. Fox said the image reflected his belief that LGBT Pride Month is enforced with a sense of hectoring authoritarianism. And he actually ended up getting banned on Twitter. Not banned, he gets temporarily suspended until he deleted it. Police returned to the Mr. Brady's property on Thursday, but he had contacted Mr. Miller and Mr. Fox during the intervening period. The pair run the Bad Law Project together, which claims to challenge and depoliticize policing. They agreed to attend the man's home and were present when officers returned. Mr. Miller claims the former serviceman refused the offer of the educational course leading to his arrest. I believe he had every fucking right to do. A statement from Hampshire Constabulary said, "When officers arrived, they were prevented from entering the address to discuss a potential resolution to the matter." Good, you just don't have the right to go in anyone's bloody house that you feel like. As a result, officers felt it was necessary to arrest a man at the scene so they could interview him in relation to the alleged offence. But Mr. Miller subsequently placed himself between the officer and the veteran, telling police, "You arrest him, you've got to come through me." However, to be honest, Mr. Miller was defending this guy's freedom of speech rights. The police are the ones right now that are infringing on this man's right to speak. So Mr. Miller did the right thing. Cops infringe rights all the time. And I think it's good when people stand up to them. He was also arrested on suspicion of obstructing police and has been released under investigation, describing the incident as one of the proudest moments of my life. In a separate video, Mr. Miller is led to a marked police van in handcuffs, and before he is taken inside, a cop asks, "Have you got anything on you that could harm me or you?" Mr. Miller instantly replies, "Just my razor-sharp wit and knowledge of the law." The footage, captured by Mr. Fox, also shows the actor and veteran accuse police of acting like the Gestapo, which they are. Mr. Miller won a Court of Appeal challenge over police guidance on hate incidents in December after claiming it unlawfully interferes with the right to freedom of expression. Yeah, it's called the non-crime hate incident, where you haven't committed an actual crime, at least not yet. You know, lucky for you, we don't have laws on that yet. But what they do is they mark it on some little permanent record, which shows up whenever you go to an employer and they do like a disposition on you, which is where they say, if you've got any past convictions, blah, blah, blah. That shows up, so you've not committed a crime. You've not committed any crime, but you've had this little mark of something dodgy you've done, like he made this tweet, he made this Facebook post, and it gets marked on your little secret permanent record, and it shows up to employers, even though you've not committed a crime. The former officer, who describes himself as gender critical, was approached by colleagues at Humberside Police over alleged transphobic tweets in January of 2020. The force recorded the complaint as a non-crime hate incident defined by the College of Policing's guidance as any non-crime incident which is perceived by the victim or any other person to be motivated by a hostility or prejudice. Now, that's one of the beautiful things about the language there. Perceived. So it's not a matter of factually is. If it's simply perceived by the victim, and let's be real, these types of people, they're going to perceive absolutely anything in a way that makes them the victim, right? If it's perceived, just simply perceived, not even any matter of fact, objective stuff. All it takes is for someone to go, "I think he did that because I'm trans." Boom! Arrest. That's all that's needed. If the victim perceives it that way, that is all that's required for an arrest. Mr. Fox returned to Twitter on Thursday, unrepentant for being suspended for posting the meme. I missed a wee bit here. Mr. Miller from Lincolnshire challenged both Humberside's police actions and the College of Policing's guidance at the High Court, and a judge ruled that the force's actions were a disproportionate interference with Mr. Miller's right to freedom of expression. The tweet resulted in a sharp backlash, with Twitter temporarily freezing his account for violating their hateful imagery policy, and a London Assembly member calling on the Met Police to investigate Mr. Fox because, They're in government. That's of course. He can't do that. Shoot him, right? Caroline Russell, who is also a member of the Police and Crime Committee in the Greater London Authority, wrote on Twitter, "I hope the Met Police will look into Lawrence Fox using pride flags to create Nazi imagery and posting the images on a public platform. This is a hate crime," Miss Russell wrote. Right, and there it is. That's what he posted. That's the image. That's the image that saw a man in handcuffs. Just posting that is a crime. That's a crime now. It caused someone anxiety. Fucking garbage, and this is where they just pad out the rest of the articles with tweets. Mr. Fox hit back at the London Assembly member's intervention, however, accusing her of employing tactics reminiscent of those. Sorry, I've just eaten a big dinner and I've got indigestion. He says, washing it down with fucking Coca-Cola. Exercised by the Chinese Communist Party. He wrote, "This is the UK, not China. Good to know you would like to see your political opponents prosecuted for hate, locked up, and probably worse. So thanks for proving my point for me," Mr. Fox said. In another tweet, Mr. Fox shared a link to a satirical article entitled "Scientists Discover Remote Island Untouched by Pride Month." Mr. Fox captioned the tweet with the words, "Don't cave into the mob, laugh instead." Access to Mr. Fox's Twitter account was restored this morning, with the polemicist and founder of the Reclaim Party telling his 310,500 followers that the LGBT pride flag has become a holy flag that cannot be criticised, which, well, it turns out in Britain, yeah, it's kind of illegal if you do that. The campaign against anti-Semitism hit out at Mr. Fox for his insulting post. And this is just padding out now. Yeah, this is all just padding out. Yeah, but you get the point anyway. Basically, yeah, people were doing that. Like, people were saying, is this worthy of a ban? And all that. And funnily enough, the guy that posted that didn't get banned. It didn't get arrested or anything either. Now, this is the one thing that people always said would never happen. Oh, this will never happen. This will never happen. Look, here it is, happening. Someone posted, like, a meme, just the pride flags arranged in a swastika. Someone called the police and went, "That made me feel anxious." And boom, the man's in handcuffs and he's facing charges. Right? This is a thing that can happen in Britain now. Right? And the thing is, like, the trans lobby, the current LGBT lobby, the pride lobby, like, all the woke ones of them, they love this stuff. But the thing that I like to point out with this is that makes them the privileged class. They now have a lot more power than any of us could ever hope for. People can walk up to me in the street and call me a fucking white fucking male and shit like that, man. They can call me a cracker, you know, they're white cis hetero fucking male, you fucking cracker, you fucking Mayo monkey and all that type of shit, and absolutely nothing will happen to them. Nothing will fucking happen to them. However, if I make pride flags into a swastika to make a statement about how, you know, how fascist the current trans lobby is, then there you are, in handcuffs. Like, the thing that's the funniest thing about all of this is they done that to show that that's what their movement has become. They are like the Nazis. If you dare question the ideology or say anything bad about us, we are going to have you arrested. And they proved his point. They proved his point. I mean, it's absolutely awful. It's absolutely awful. Like, the thing that's so sad is the man, it's like this fucking self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, the man got arrested for making a meme that made a statement, and then the police came and proved the statement. That just blows my mind. But yeah, and remember how years ago that everyone was saying, "Oh, that's not going to happen. Things like that aren't going to happen." Yeah, well, here it fucking is. And what are they going to do about it? Like, they'll do the usual thing where they go, "That thing's not happening." Okay, well, it's only happening sometimes. Okay, it's happening a lot, but let me tell you why that's a good thing, right? That they're going to do that whole shit all over again, right? And there's probably people online absolutely celebrating this, and the reason they're doing that is because they're fucking fascists.